You need engine data. You need it now, not later. KipApplication 2.0.
So you've spent a metric buttload on an expensive ProMaster and you want to keep it on the road forever. Like this one, which is one of mine, which has 870-odd thousand miles on it and is still on the road. How does one do that? Where does one find the knowledge and the expertise? Who will help with this mission of keeping this van on the road forever? So wouldn't it be great if we lived in a world where there was a fat guy who knew a whole bunch about ProMasters and found a way to put all his knowledge into one place and give it to you all at once in one swell foop? Like say, I don't know, in a phone application that reads codes and has gauges and has knowledge based in it and has some links to YouTube videos that explain what's going on with your van and all this other stuff. Wouldn't that be the best? Oh boy, that'd be great. If only. But who am I, you ask? Who is this fat man standing in front of you? Well, my name's Kip, and I own a shop in Barberton, Ohio, called ProMasters Only. Guess what we work on? It's a ProMaster. You saw that coming, didn't you? Well, over the past 12 years of ownership and 4 years of fixing these things, I know quite a bit about the ProMaster, I think I can say with all humility. And what I have done is created a phone app that, in conjunction with a very cheap OBD reader, gives you gauges, code reading, is a repository of knowledge, and has some advanced features that version 1.0 didn't have. Let's take a look, shall we? But what is the KipApplication, the ProMasters Only phone application that I'm going on about? Well, it's this. Here on your OBD2 port, which lives in your van here, you'll put one of these cheapy dongles, 15 bucks or so. There's a few different ones, and they'll be in the description below about which ones are approved for use. You simply plug it into the dongle. It powers up. When you turn your key on, the key needs to be on, but the van does not need to be running. Now we can log into the app. Watch this. Users from 1.0 will be very excited to learn it's a simple one-touch login now. It knows the dongles that are approved. It says connecting. It finds it. No scrolling, none of that nonsense. That's an improvement, and bam, we're up. So let's see what we got. As an overview, the KipApplication has 7 main panels, as you can see. Let's go through all of them. And I'm going to go quick, and then I'll go back and talk about some stuff. Live gauges, here are your main gauges: temperature, voltage, transmission fluid temperature, oil pressure, engine load, and fuel trims. The more clever among you will have noticed this, a gauge explanation. Each of the gauges is linked to a short YouTube video that explains what the gauge is, what it does, what it's telling you, how to interpret it, and so on and so forth. And I find that to be quite important. Additionally, new in gauges is an alarms feature. If alarms are too low or too high, it'll ring you an alarm for each gauge. Globally, the app features a night mode feature. Normally the the gauges are on a white background, but if you're driving at night and want to save your eyesight, you can put it into dark mode and the gauges will be on a black background. That's just a small feature. I'd like to take a moment here now and talk about one of the most important reasons you would buy this for your older ProMaster. Now, this feature won't work on the 22 and up ProMasters that have the 9-speed. Transmission oil temperature, but transmission oil temperature is super important on the 14 through 21 vans. Why? Because the 6-speed transmission is quite weak, and what kills transmission is temperature. Now, the gauge reads in Fahrenheit, obviously, and as you've noticed, there's a little button here for a gauge explanation if you want to get a more detailed explanation of what this gauge is and how to read it. But the important thing to know is that by monitoring your transmission for light load, partial cruise, moderate temperatures, and just general use, you'll get an idea of what normal is for you, and thus you will be able to spot abnormal when you're in the mountains or pulling heavy or driving fast or towing or so on. The important thing is to know what's normal so that you can spot abnormal with your transmission. This feature alone, the ability to read transmission fluid temperature, is worth the price of admission, in my opinion, because even though this app is expensive, it ain't as expensive as a new transmission. We also have the code reader, which is improved from 1.0. Before, it didn't give you feedback. Now I say refresh, and I say refresh and it reads the codes. And more importantly, if you say refresh again, it verifies that it has read codes. As a point, this particular van has lots of codes. Isn't that exciting? But what's important to know is when you go, say, here to P30301, the little triangle tells you that there's a video available for that code. When you click it, it pulls up one of my YouTube videos that tells you exactly what that code is, how to fix it, and so on and so forth. Here is an important new feature for the code reader screen. In version 1.0, it was my fault. I implemented it poorly, and it didn't. If you had no codes, you would think the code reader wasn't working. Well, now when I click refresh, it's giving me confirmation that it's reading codes. And if there's no codes to be found, it will say no codes found. Also new are changes to the gauge panel, including up here, look at that, wake lock, so the phone does not go to sleep. It'll stay open if you're using this as a 3-gauge panel, which you can turn sideways, and it will reorient sideways for just these 3 important gauges: trans oil, coolant temperature, and voltage. But now we have an advanced feature. Okay, it's night now, and I want to show you this great feature. This is actually really cool. So here I got the app open, right? And I have it in night mode, and I go here to HUD view. HUD, heads up display. Look what it does. It reads backwards, so you, or somebody better looking than you, can do that. Is this able to be seen? Oh, look at that. So it's going to reflect in the windshield, and because I have it in HUD mode, it's wrong reading on the screen, which means it's right reading when it reflects back at you. Isn't that slick? I think that's slick. There we go. That shows you what's going on. See that? It's backwards in the... Look at that action. When you want to go back, you just go out of HUD mode. New to version 2.0 is this panel, oil logbook. It's pretty simple. It logs the date and a note and an oil change. You can write it down, and you can write your maintenance history here and any other important notes. Additionally new for 2.0 is this panel shop finder. What is it? Well, it is what it sounds like. I have a few approved shops. I cast out on Facebook and found some, I don't know, about 25 shops or so, and you can search them by state or so on, and that's going to grow as time goes by to have ProMaster friendly shops that aren't jerks that rip you off. Another new feature here in version 2.0 of the KipApplication is fluids info. For 3 or 4 years now, I've been giving out a sticker that just has the fluids, oil filter, some part numbers, some basic stuff. It's now searchable by old or new ProMaster, first gen or whatever. And it's just a handy place to have that. There are your material specifications on the fluids you need, and a few part numbers, and so on and so forth. And as if that wasn't enough for new features for you people, video library, a final panel. Now this one is going to be pretty useful over time. They're searchable, but all it really is an index of links to my videos on YouTube explaining various common issues with the ProMaster or things that you might need to know. Basically the sum of all my hundreds of years of genius and brilliance in keeping these things on the road. So where and how do I get this exciting KipApplication and be part of this magic? Well, the answer is you go on the Google Playstore or the Apple App Store and download it like any other app, and it goes onto your phone or tablet for Android or your phone or tablet for iOS, and that's pretty exciting. The app is $70, which is, I realize, expensive. However, the reading of the transmission fluid temperature is something that, to the best of my knowledge, no other affordable app does, not till you get to the $200 or $300 range. And more importantly, I think, is that you, by purchasing the app, will be part of the Kip ecosystem. This is what I do, is keeping these vans on the road, and it is my mission to keep you driving this ridiculous thing for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles and finding problems and sharing knowledge and so on. An ecosystem of Kip, which I believe no other vehicle that I know of has such a support system built in. We are going to do amazing things together in the future. And of course, you buy the app once and the upgrades are free for life as I keep adding features and flashiness. My app, ProMaster phone app, custom ProMaster